So what's the number one mistake Amazon FBA sellers make, especially new Amazon FBA sellers? Well, stay tuned. We're going to go over that. What's up? It's Shane the Rise and Grind Picker. And today I'm going to go over with you the number one thing that Amazon sellers, the number one mistake that Amazon sellers make. And I'm going to, you probably already know what it is, but I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on how to get over this, how to curb this mistake, how to not do it. And I'm going to share a story with you. So, the number one mistake that most Amazon sellers make, of course, is price tanking. But why do they price tank? What factors involve in the price tank? Well, you got to think. When you're selling something and you buy it at Walmart, or you buy it at RA, or you buy a book, the number one thing that most sellers think of is just selling it. They don't think of what they cost them. They don't think of any of that. Or they're really used to eBay, and they're not so used to Amazon. And eBay, the fees are way lower. So that's what you have to think of. Now, my buddy, Thrift Trader, he actually did a Facebook post that was pretty funny. But my buddy Thrift Trader, Jason, he called me the other day. And this is going to be very important. So he called me the other day and he said, "Hey, I have a book. And the person keeps repricing a 1 penny below me." And I said, "That's great. They're probably a newer seller." And he said, "Yeah, they are. They have, like," he said, "they have some feedback. It's like 18 feedback." And I said, "Okay, buy it from them." The book was a pretty rare book, like $45, $50 book. And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Okay." I saw on the phone with him and I said, "Reprice it down to $9.95, or it was something like that." And he did, and 15 minutes later they went down to $9.98 or $9.94, and he bought it. And he bought it from that seller, and then when he gets it, he's going to send it right back in the FBA and sell it for $45 to $50. That's that. Okay, so most repricers, if you get a repricer, books are pretty hard to reprice, but the one thing is most repricers will have an option or you can reprice it 1 penny below your competition. That's not the way to do it, because when you do that and you reprice it 1 penny below, you are going to literally tank the price in itself, because other people are going to have repricers. And let me actually say this real quick before we move on any farther. A lot of people in the comments are saying, "Yeah, repricers are half the problem." No, they're not. Repricers used wrong are half the problem. If you have a repricer and you sell on Amazon, if you sell on Amazon and you have over 150 SKUs, you have to have a repricer. There's no other options, because you're going to spend a couple hours a day repricing by hand, and it's not going to gain you anything. So a repricer is a must. Like, you have to have a repricer. But the thing is, okay, is when you use it wrong, that's when the price tanks, that's when it's raced to the bottom. And in books, you see a lot of people doing a penny and under, and that's where they price it wrong. Well, when they're a newer seller, they don't think of cost. So when he sold that at $9, he probably lost $2 or $3 at least. And they don't think of cost, what it costs them, because books are usually so low cost. Most sellers will go in and set a really low price, like $5 for their minimum price, and then they're hoping to sell it before it hits that $5 mark, is what they're doing, and that's why they're pricing a penny and under. Unfortunately, some books just take longer to sell, and also some books are seasonal. And that's the same thing with RA, is when you go and you buy an item RA, you don't want to price a penny and under. You want to literally match the buy box and match the seller in the buy box, and just share the buy box and match it and sell out. And that's the beauty of Amazon, is the buy box. But I would say the number one mistake that most new sellers make is actually getting a repricer and setting it wrong, or getting a repricer and setting it a penny and under, and that makes them sell items too cheap and they lose money. I had a person reach out to me on YouTube, and he said, I've been buying books at Dollar Tree and I'm negative 80 some dollars in the hole and I can't make money. And I said, okay, send me some screenshots of the books you sold. He was selling them FBA $4, $3, $5, $6. Listen, you can't sell stuff that cheap and make money. You're going to lose money. And you're selling those books, you're losing money because the fees. There is an FBA calculator on Amazon, and you just hit your item, and where it has the price, the one up above that, if you hit that arrow over, that FBA calculator pops up, and it helps you calculate all the fees. So I told him that, and I'm like, listen, you're losing $4 a book. That's why you're negative 90 some bucks in the hole, is because every time you buy a book, you're losing $4 when you sell it. And he was like, oh, like he didn't even know. You have to understand, you need to know your fees on the item and the fees associate with the price you sell it at. Because if you sell it and you're losing money every time you sell something, that is huge. And I have seen this over and over and over with Amazon FBA. I have seen sellers lose money over and over and over and over again, the same exact way I'm telling you right now. And people reach out to me. I've had several people reach out to me, and it's the same thing. And the first thing I tell them is, where's your pricing at? Show me a couple items. What'd you buy it for? What are you selling it for? And most of the time they're losing money. They're selling it to lose money. And so that's the whole thing, is you can't sell items to lose money. You can't. You cannot do it. And the thing I want to tell you is, it's pretty easy to match the price. When you buy the item, what you do is you run the calculator right in the store before you buy it, and you know the profit. Now, the reason people don't realize profits on eBay, there's one reason. A lot of eBay sellers, when they buy an item, you know, they're looking for cheap 50-cent items to sell for 20 bucks, 30 bucks. $1, $2 items, 20 bucks, 30 bucks. But they might say, oh, I made 20 bucks on this item, but they don't always include the shipping. And that's one of the problems, is the shipping's never included, or they just dismiss the shipping. And or they don't realize the eBay fees. You know, because eBay fees, they take anywhere from 11 to 13% plus shipping, plus the 3% PayPal. So at the end of the sales, they're taking 13, 14, 16% plus shipping. And you have to realize all those fees associated with every item you sell, or you're going to lose money on eBay too. You're just not going to notice it, because you might sell a couple items for 100 bucks, and then you sell an item for 7 or 8 bucks, and you ship it out, and you don't realize you paid $1, $2 for it, and then you're losing money on top. So after I gave you the whole spiel on losing money and all that stuff, why don't you comment down below, pause the video, comment down below what you think, if you have ever sold anything accidentally to lose money, and maybe some tips on how you set your repricer. But I can tell you right now that look at your fees. You can actually go into GoDaddy. If you have GoDaddy bookkeeping, this is what I suggest to everyone, is I use GoDaddy bookkeeping for eBay and Amazon. And I go into Amazon every week. You can do it every month, and you can look at your profit and loss margins. And if you're losing money on Amazon, it is going to show you that you have a loss and you are not profitable, because it adds your fees right into GoDaddy.com, GoDaddy bookkeeping. So I think the number one thing is setting yourself up to be able to see what mistakes you're making, the fees associated with what you're selling. Just be diligent about it, and don't tank the price. Like, here's the one thing, the other thing, on retail arbitrage, sometimes you have to have a money roll to play in that game. And if you don't have the cash, don't go buying retail arbitrage all the time. Buy a little at a time. Instead of 100, buy 10. Because a lot of people that don't have the money will drop the price and sell out very low, and then they can't make money because they're selling too low because they don't already have the money to begin with. There's a lot of traffic today. It's crazy. So just be diligent of that. If you don't have the money, know where your cutoff is. If I buy 10 of this item, I'm still going to be able, to survive, whatever. Don't go deep. Go wide. Don't go deep. Buy 10 or 12, whatever. So just remember that. Once again, like, share, subscribe, and make that money.